All right. We are Willem and Anneke from the Mission Trekkers.
Welcome to the podcast Travelling Friends of Oz, where we have a chat to other travellers around Australia about their travels, their tips, experiences, and more.
All right. So tonight we've got Bronwyn and Andy Moore from the Moore Family Adventures. Hey, Bronwyn and Andy, how's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Here we are.
Yes. Well, our first question usually is just, who is Bronwyn and Andy? Who is the Moore Family Adventures? Tell us a little bit about yourselves and, I guess what you did before you started traveling and,
Yeah, sure. Do you want to go?
No, you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm a chef by trade, but I've been a stay-at-home mum for the last almost 8 years. I do have a little business doing hamper boxes that I've done while I've been at home with the kids, and that's Made with Love gourmet platters and hampers. So that's been good. It's kept me busy and sane, I think, during motherhood and all that. So that's what I did before we left.
Yeah, and I'm a teacher. So I'm a secondary school teacher. And before we took off last year, at the end of last year.
Yeah. So how did you guys decide? I guess you want to go traveling. Like, how did it start?
I think for the last 7.5 years, I've said to Andy, "Can we get a caravan?"
Yeah.
And
for 7.5 years, I've said no.
Yeah.
I've had no desire to get a caravan at all.
Okay.
It's like just get a I don't know. Go. We did camping first.
Yeah.
And anyway, we had this tent and put my back out. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, it was good in a sense. So it was good to be. We went to Marimbula, but yes, your parents and your sister and all had caravans, and I was like, I was hesitant, but that changed.
Yeah, so we're from Victoria, and I think that after the last couple of years, we just felt really tired with everything that was happening in the lockdowns and the homeschooling. And late last year, Andy came to me and said, "What about if we get a caravan?" And of course, like, all my dreams are coming true. We're going to get a caravan.
Yeah.
And so then quickly things fell into place for us. We found a secondhand van. We're in a Jayco Expander.
Yeah.
And things just really went really quickly from there. We rented out our house and got leave from work, and here we are. So we never
sold our car.
Yeah.
Bought a new car. Yeah.
So it was really kind of a split decision that we just decided we wanted the freedom and to travel and to explore Australia. So yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was funny how everything just fell into place. That was the funny thing. How everything just fell into place. We needed to go caravan. We wanted to get the caravan. We wanted to get all these things, and it all just happened. And it's just worked out really well.
Yeah.
I love hearing that.
And how old is the kids?
They're 7, 5, and 3.
Okay. What did they think about this big decision Mum and Dad took?
Yeah, we called it our adventure. So it wasn't. So it sounded exciting to the kids. We said we're going to go on an adventure to them because, they're friends. We had one in school, and just the familiar surroundings for the kids. So and not seeing family and things like that. So we called it adventure, and they've been really good to date. They've I think today probably they were talking about playing with their toys that they have at home and things like that. But
it comes up from time to time. They might have a bit of homesickness, but then that's forgotten when we go to the pool. So,
and meet some other friends.
Place we've got. Yeah, that's the funny thing, like then we come back to the caravan park where we're at. There's a pool with a big water slide. And that's all forgotten, and it's like, well, we know we miss home from time to time, but at the same time, you don't get to experience this if we were back at home. So that's the other thing, and it balances out, and they see that and they go, yeah, this is pretty cool. We'll make the most of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming they're doing like homeschooling, and you're a teacher, so does it make it easier?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. Well, no. What am I doing? I don't do the homeschooling really. It's really like I help out from time to time, but it's mainly Bron doing the homeschooling with the kids. Yeah, with the, I suppose, with your maternal instinct and
I think also
that
like,
age.
and I think the last 2 years in Victoria, like I've never wanted to homeschool in my life. We've always decided we were always going to send the kids to school. But just I think learning what we learned over the last 2 years really gave me the courage, I think, to go, oh yeah, you know, I can do this. And I think it is good that Andy's a teacher, because at times where I really want to get the formal kind of stuff done, he's like, you know, they're going to learn so much today when we go out and do A, B, or C, or, you know, Andy's a science teacher. So when we go to the beach, you'll talk to them about the rock pools and things like that. And I think that's kind of helped me feel a little bit more calmer about, you know, that we don't have to be doing book work every single day, you know, like there's so much that they learn, and even seeing them grow, I think, in their independence has been really interesting. And some of the kids have been quite shy, but when we go to caravan parks and there's other kids there, they're really like, you know, we'll go up to them and initiate a conversation. So that's been really nice to see them grow in those areas too.
Yeah. It's broadening their horizons and just, you know, seeing a different side of life. And
what I'm usually doing is I'm doing something outside with the caravan, because that's what ends up happening. You've got to try and, there's so many things that can go wrong or need to be fixed up or something or other, and it's like I just find myself out there just putting something back together or sorting out the annex or fixing something, and then and at the same time it's picking up all those things that you learn through doing the excursions, you know what I mean, like those trips. And it's like just picking up little things here and there, but just seeing if they can pick it up, and they'll just pick it up through osmosis as well. They'll just absorb so much through their experiences, which is what this is all about. So that's the benefit. Like, I suppose the other thing is, like with the homeschooling, you were doing it, I was in the garage teaching over Zoom. You know what I mean? And it's like you got to have that balance of getting out. And that's why when you are a school teacher, you do camps and excursions and all this type of stuff, and they're and all that type of stuff, and science pracs, like, but you know, that's kind of limited in a caravan depending on what you do. But it's about getting out and, I suppose, balancing the experience of the last couple of years. You know? So it's pretty cool that way.
So which is their favorite? Is it bush or beach, or what do they like exploring?
Oh, I think it's beach, really.
Yeah, I think it's beach too. Yeah, definitely the beach.
Because we've got at least half a ton of shells in our car at the moment. Like, how are we gonna, like, our youngest is just this avid collector, and it's like, oh mate, today, how much have we got? And he puts it in his pockets and everything, you know what I mean? Like, he's got some really good sized shells, and it's like, but we've done how many beaches have we done? I don't know how many beaches we've done.
We've done a lot. And Andy tried to get rid of some of the shells one day when we were at the beach, and he put them too close to our youngest, and he found them again. And then he wanted to bring them back again. And well, it didn't work.
There's a lot of rock pools, there's a lot of rocks and all this stuff. I put him around, and he went around, he was looking around, it's almost like he was finding it. He found it. It was like, okay.
Yeah, we know that feeling. We know that feeling. Have you guys haven't been to Shell Beach in WA, because that's just, the beach is just shells.
There's no sand.
You're going to be bringing home the whole beach.
Yeah, we might have to think about that one. Yeah, we might have to get an extra trailer. Yeah.
Where are you guys at currently? Which region or area?
We're in the Gold Coast at the moment. Yeah. So we were just planning to do the East Coast. First, we were just planning to do New South Wales, and now we're in the Gold Coast. So I think we'll just go up north as far as we can, and then work our way back down through the middle. So
okay.
And having said that, Yeah, sorry. Like
No,
having
no,
said
no.
that, like one of our first, like we went to Surfers Paradise. Well, we didn't go to Surfers Paradise, but we went just a little bit above Surfers. Went to the beach or whatever. Just went for a walk, collected shells and rocks. But today we went to Tambourine Mountain and saw some great waterfalls. So some places where you think, oh, it's just the beach, Gold Coast, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's like an hour
Waterfalls
drive
nearby.
or 45 minutes drive, just get up and then you get the most amazing views. And the kids love that as well. Like they do love the bush and they love that kind of thing, but it's like you can bring these two things together in so many different places in Australia. It's great, you know? So,
Yeah, it's great about the Australian landscape is because like every half hour or hour that you drive, there's another, you like feel in another world, you know? So it's, we love it here. We're not originally born in Australia, but we love it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, on that note, like, have you guys had some really good destinations that you know, can say, yes, definitely go and visit here? Or have you got some destinations that you want to go to, especially?
I'll do the ones, Bron, that
we've enjoyed.
Yeah, that you potentially move to. Go for it.
Oh yeah, we really liked Forster Tangkurry. That was really lovely. The Port Stephens area. And we loved Byron Bay. Surprisingly, I really surprised myself because I didn't expect to love it as much as we did. I think.
Yeah, the funny thing is that I think what surprised us was we'd both never been there. We both wanted to go there just over the last however many years. Wanted to, you know, go there at one point, and but the amount of food, like restaurants and really good quality stuff, like it was really, I don't know, really nice.
Yeah, it was. I think, you know, being a chef and also our youngest is celiac, so there was just so many options available
Made it
for
really
him.
easy.
And it was really easy.
I was just going to ask you, like going to the restaurants because you're a chef, like, is that one of the things that you like to, you know, wherever you are, find really good restaurants? And
yes and no. I think if we were two singles, maybe, but you know, when you're taking kids to a restaurant, it's like, quick, you know, order this and all this and let's get out. And but I think, we found a couple of good spots in Byron Bay, and the kids had a pack of cards with them, so they were entertained. And it's nice. It's always great to feel inspired by food as a chef and see what's happening around and things. So
all right. Well, whenever we share our food on our socials, don't judge me.
No.
No, it was just a joke. I mean, I love making food, but I just throw stuff together normally, and
no chefs here.
No chefs here, and it seems to come out all right. I mean, I haven't poisoned my wife yet.
That's a good start.
Major. Well,
good stuff.
Have you guys got, I guess, like you've spoken about those destinations you've been to, but like bucket list destinations where you'd like to go to, you know, to still tick off?
I think I'd love to go to Fraser Island and experience that because we've seen so many beautiful things of it.
Yeah.
And you want to go up to the Great Barrier Reef too, don't you?
Oh yeah. Well, there's so many. It'd be great to go and do Cape York and all the rest of it. It's whether we've got the capabilities with our car and all that type of stuff. Probably not. And then there's like into the Northern Territory. There's so many things there, and it's like, wow, you know, what could we do there? But it's like, it's just funny. It's like, it's almost like you've got all these ideas, but then you got the reality, I guess, of what we're going to be able to achieve. But yeah, like I think the other thing is we've got friends up in Yeppoon, and just being able to go and see them is going to be something, I think. And it's been like something that we've talked about for nearly 8 years, and going, we'll get up there, and to actually get there is going to be like, we got here, you know, and that's a fair way up from where we've come from in Melbourne. So that'd be awesome.
So at the moment, I guess you're saying like whether you'll be able to do it, do you guys not have like you have a strict plan of like when you need to be back? Or
you said
settle down again,
that you have leave without pay. So how long do you have left in your journey then?
Yeah, it's a 12-month basically. It's a year off. So December, January next year is the game plan at this point. And like Tats Lotto, that could change things, but usually that usually works out to be like a $10 here and a $5 there. But Division 7, when you want Division 1 sole winner,
You're very specific. You've done a calculation on this, haven't you?
Got it, yeah. I'm slowly working my way up from Division 8, 7. And it's like, we've got $13 this week. Okay.
Yeah, good.
That's not going to pay for another year or two. But so it's just that, trying to see what we can do in this period of time till the end of the year.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about what sort of setup you run while you're doing this trip. What do you have there? So you said you had the Jayco. What's your vehicle? Your tow vehicle?
Yeah. So we've got a Nissan Pathfinder TI, and its towing capacity is 2.7 ton. So it's not too bad. It's better than we had a Kluger, and that was like 2 ton, and that Kluger wouldn't have been able to pull this caravan with everything in it. So we had to sell that, and we had to get this new one. But we were just looking around. It's a front wheel drive. So ideally we would have liked a 4-wheel drive or a rear wheel drive, but we just couldn't get anything at that time.
Okay.
So we got a front wheel drive, and this caravan is it's a single axle. So it's not a double axle or an off-road or outback or anything like that. It's just a single axle. Jayco Expander. And I think it's about 1.7 ton. And when you put everything in it, it's probably just over 2. So I think, we're probably at our capabilities with towing and all that type of stuff. And we have got rid of a few things along the way as well. So we've found that, with the homeschooling, I was going to teach the kids how to play the guitar, and we were going to have had the keyboard ready to go to keep the piano lessons going. And that's all gone back because that was going from the caravan into the annex, into the car, back into the annex, back into the caravan, off we go. You know what I mean? It wasn't being used.
Yeah, okay.
And it just became a bit of a hassle and in the way. And so there's been things that we've had to get rid of, which has been good. We are traveling a lot lighter now.
That's good.
Yeah. We've got an annex, which is really good when you're on the road for a long period of time. We found it really handy just to have that extra space, especially when it's been rainy, when we were in New South Wales during the flood times and things like that, just to have also a second area to homeschool the kids, have one out there and one inside, and we've got Lego, they can do Lego out there and things. So it's been really handy having the annex, which is good.
Yeah. And then the funny thing is, we had those foam mats. We found them pointless in the end. Where you join them together, the water seeps through. So it was like, well, what's the point of having them?
Okay.
So I know I've seen some other podcast people going very light, not worrying about anything. Still got the green mats. Those green mats you can get, those thin, rubbery kind of mats.
Yep.
You can lay them out as
lay them out, floor. Like an outdoor floor kind of thing. We've got them, but we haven't put them down lately. We've been just getting concrete slab sites.
Okay.
And that's been a lot better for us. That's what we found. So you put the annex on the slab, and it's just been even. And
when we've been in caravan parks,
it's worked well.
It's been really good. It's kept things dry, and
we did have a few experiences where you'd come out of your caravan and you're into a pool, and it's like, okay, rightio, what do we do with this? And you've got the mats down, and you've got you've got these things. Then you're going, right, so the mats are underneath the pool, at the bottom of the pool, and we're gonna have to try and get all these things out and dry them out. So
Oh no.
Crazy. You want to avoid that one.
We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot in this.
I think everyone, even people who have, camped and stuff, and then they go traveling a bit more and living inside of a caravan, and even going places that you've never been before, you're going to experience a whole different, environment. The elements are going to be different if you're in WA and you've always camped in Sydney, or
and you'll set your van up different at each location.
Everyone's going to learn and have to adapt to it.
Is there anything special or specific on why you chose the Jayco Expander for your family?
What was it, bro? It was.
I don't know. Well, but this model's got an ensuite, so we've got a
That's it.
toilet and shower,
That's
and
good.
I felt like that was a must because
Yeah.
with the ages of the kids, like we know they get up in the middle of the night to want to go to the
Mm.
toilet, and having to get up and take them would have been like very disruptive, I think. So that was definitely a selling point, was having that ensuite.
Yeah.
And but it's one of those en suites which has like the sink in the above the toilet
Oh, yep.
kind of thing. So you got the shower, the toilet's right there, and the sink can pop down. What we found was when we're using the sink, it was running behind the toilet. Down below, there's a section below the cassette where the toilet is, and that was filling up with stuff as well from, we think, overflow from the sink and that not being used properly. So we learned in our first week, after clearing out underneath the cassette and everything else that comes with that little section of the toilet, that we shouldn't use the sink. And we have not used the sink since.
Yeah.
And we have not had any issues with water underneath the toilet and all that sort of stuff. So it's almost like use the sink in the kitchen with soap and all the rest of it, but we don't use the sink in the actual ensuite. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Do you think there's just something wrong with that one, or just?
Yeah, I don't know what the
in.
drainage is. Yeah, I just feel like something doesn't. We had this leakage issue, and it was almost like, going, man, this is horrendous. It's obviously scarred me deeply. That it's like we won't use that sink anymore, and we haven't had any issues since. So it's almost like, well, that must have corrected the problem. Yeah. So that's a little thing that we've learned.
Yeah. And so does it have 3 bunks for the kids then?
We've got the dinette that turns into a bed, and 2 doubles on each side. So the kids sleep. What do they sleep? They sleep this way, vertically, not horizontally. So 3 of them are together at the moment. But
they're actually horizontal. They aren't actually standing up. But like, they're lying down on the bed, on the mat. They're not like we see a lot of bats, and they love the bats, but we haven't got them hanging from the expander upside down. Like we're not. I haven't got them like, you know.
They lie across this way. So it's worked.
Currently they are lying north-south. Yeah.
So the width way, not the length way.
Yeah.
That's
very good.
Although I'm sure a couple of them, I think one of our youngest was probably keen to hang from his ankles at one point there after seeing all the bats. There was one place in where was it where we saw the bats?
I saw the photo. That's a beautiful photo with all the bats. Oh
yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, they were very excited about that. But yeah, so they're all basically in that one end, and we're at the other end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Any experience? I know you guys said about like destinations and stuff, but there was any experiences, or what's the best, I guess, experience that you've had as a little family, or even the kids that you can remember?
Recently, when we were in Byron Bay, we went to the farm in Byron Bay, and it was really probably one of the best homeschool days that we've had, because they've got these macadamia orchards there and pecan orchards, and besides being able to stroll around the farm and see the animals and things like that, you can walk through the orchards, and then you can pick up macadamia nuts, and they've got nut crackers on like picnic tables, and so you can crack them open. And I think that was really a great experience for the kids to see them, you know, seeing the orchards and the macadamias on the tree, and then actually seeing the physical fruit. And
the funny thing is that, you know, we met someone who, they live in the area, and they were like, you know, basically giving us a little lesson on it as well. But the noise of cracking the shell was just such a great noise. It was just awesome. And like the kids just love it. They want to hear that crack, you know, and it was almost, and it cracks and then it opens up, and there's actually 2 parts of the shell. So you got to crack it twice, and then you get to the macadamia nut, and they get to have a taste of it. And it's everything coming together, all the senses coming together, isn't it? It's like,
that was a highlight. And I think also in Port Stephens, we went to that, was it Little Beach?
Oh, Little Beach,
yeah. And we were just out in the water, and there was a dolphin right there, like I don't know, how far away was it?
10 meters.
Yeah, it was really quite close, and yeah, that was really special too, I think.
Yeah,
they were probably some of the big highlights. Yeah, there's been so many.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So I guess we just have a few more questions. Like, have you guys got any tips or advice that you want to give other families doing or thinking about doing the same, or just other people out there traveling and doing the same thing?
I think probably traveling light is really important, and it's definitely something we've learnt, just to really travel light. That microfiber towels are really good, instead of your normal towels that you use in the bathroom. I think we were really surprised with humidity in the caravan and in the places that we've been, because it's not humid in Victoria. And I think we purchased a rice cooker, which was really helpful, because it doesn't allow all that steam and things like that. And I think cooking outside is really good.
Makes a difference.
It makes a difference to the humidity in the caravan. But also slab sites in caravan parks, I think, has been a big plus for us, and something we've learnt.
That's helped a lot.
And also that something we learnt, because we've never had a caravan service, is that you have to book it in quite early, because they book out all these caravan service places. We waited quite a few months and to get ours in for a service. So just, I think, being aware that if you are due to have your caravan service when you're on the road, that make sure you book it in. And there's usually quite a few months wait.
Yeah, because they reckon you should have it serviced every year or whatever, and or some do anyway. And the guy who we bought it off, he had it serviced in, I think it was around March or April the previous year, and we then went, we better try and get it in. And then it's like, we can't see it till nearly the end of May. So it's almost like, well, right, okay, we thought we were getting in at the right time, but it took a few months, like you said. So
and that wasn't something we were aware of previously, like how long the wait is. So we've definitely learnt that. But definitely traveling light and collapsible kind of bowls and things like that. And really, I think the kids don't need much in way of toys, is something we've probably learnt as well, because you're usually out of the caravan, or because we're homeschooling, or then we go on an excursion or see something. They really don't need much. And I think, we learnt that.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff. We still have a bit too, we probably still have a little bit too much, but I think Lego was good to bring. Lego was probably good to bring in the end. But they can be creative with it. But limit what you have,
it's good for the different ages as well, so it's not a toy that's specific for one age. So
so you carry one toy that can go for different ages or
and I think another thing we've learned is that door handles to caravans, you should usually carry a spare one, because I think, is this our third or our second handle?
Well, the funny thing, so to get a Jayco handle is about $260 odd bucks, right? The full both sides. And you put it together, kind of thing. Well, the one on the outside opens up like this, and most people know this who are listening to this, and the other one is the normal handle. Well, the kids struggle with that idea at first of lifting it up, and that got snapped. And it's okay, so I've got to try and fix that. And it's like, that's about 60 or 70 bucks. Got to find those. And I was like, how did you do that? But anyway, that was it. And so we've got two parts, and we've been able to fix it. And you learn, that's the other thing, you learn how to fix all these things. And there's always something getting broken or something falling apart that you have to put back together. And it's like, what is going on here? But anyway, you learn, and you don't know, you make it up, and you just go, oh gosh, I've got to get those parts. And just trying to make sure, if you get a Jayco, I'm not too sure what caravan you guys have got, but whichever one people have is to, I suppose, make sure you can get to their spare parts department, because you're probably going to need to get quite a few things, and we've had to get quite a number of things along our journey. So but the door handle is really important, because you can't get in or out.
It is.
You know what I mean? And anyway,
I think it just took some time for the kids to realize that you lift it up and you're not turning it like a normal handle. So they were trying to turn it, the youngest, I think. So we've learned that. Carry some spare parts.
Okay, cool.
That's pretty much it. The last question we just usually ask is for you guys to give your socials. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, like whatever your social, we know what it is, but if you want to just name, what your social pages so people can go and follow your journey.
Yeah, so it's the More Family Adventures. It's _ between each of those words. We'd love to have people follow us on our journey and see what we're up to and learn from us or come along for the ride.
Is that just on Instagram or Facebook as well?
Yes, sorry, it's just on Instagram. Yeah,
Okay.
Just on Instagram.
Amazing.
Good. Cool.
Have any more questions for them?
No. Enjoy, guys. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Have a good
Have a good
night.
night.
All the best.
Thank you for listening to another awesome episode of Traveling Friends of Ours. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know how much you like the podcast by rating it in order to help it reach more listeners across Australia. The podcast is a non-for-profit, so we appreciate all the support.
Please also share the podcast on your socials by tagging Traveling Friends of Oz, as we are on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. These links are in the description below, and remember to subscribe as there are many more stories yet to be told.
Travelers listening to this, if you want to be featured on the podcast, get in contact with us. We would love to share your story with other traveling friends of ours.